Israel Adesanya discusses the upcoming rematch against Alex Pereira. Is he as confident he wins this time around?
It's a good question. What's my motivation? I've never not been motivated to fight this guy, but for this one, I've put the pressure on myself, like the belt, everything else. I have to beat this guy. So yeah, that's, I guess, my motivation is just beating him. And like I said, they can say whatever they want. You know, it's 1-0 or 3-0. I don't keep score. I settle them, and I just need one, and I'm gonna get it done.
Anthony Smith tells Islam Makhachev to hold on to that pound-for-pound #1 spot tight because Jon Jones is coming. After UFC 284, Smith went on to say, I think Islam needs to hold on to that #1 pound-for-pound spot really tightly right now because I think there's going to be a lot of different conversations if Jon Jones comes back and is even a small portion of what he was when we last seen him. Jon Jones, this is his long-anticipated move to heavyweight. He's been talking about it forever. On the matchup with Ciryl Gane, Smith continued, I think he has his toughest test in the entire division. I think Jon Jones is swinging for the fences right away. There's a lot easier matchups in the heavyweight division for Jon Jones. There's bigger names that are easier with bigger paychecks. And I think he has the toughest fight on his hands right now. I think Ciryl Gane does a lot of the same things that Jon Jones does on the feet. And to be very fair with you, I think Ciryl Gane does a lot of those things better than Jon Jones. As far as his movement on his feet, his stance switches, I think that he's probably more powerful. Technically, I think Ciryl Gane's probably the better striker. But we all know how Jon Jones is. He's the greatest of all time in my opinion. I can't wait for this fight. It's going to be incredible. Islam Makhachev trolls Alexander Volkanovski on his Instagram story.
Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy! Coach, look here. Coach, let us know how you feel, coach, when your student, best fighter in the world. How you feel, coach?
I feel like I'm on top of the world because I got the best fighter in the world, and I knew I would have the best fighter in the world, so I feel #1.
You know, coach, why I'm best? Because I have best coach in the world.
You have some of the best coaches in the world, yes, you do.
After defeating Josh Emmett to become the new UFC interim featherweight champion, Yair Rodriguez previews the fight between him and Alexander Volkanovski.
I think he's quick, I think he's explosive, and he has a pretty good wrestling and jiu-jitsu defense. So I think the fight in between him and I will stay standing up. So it will be like more of a striking fight. And everything comes down to who does it better in that day, who does a better strategy, and who's able to maintain the strategy if it's working, and able to adjust if it's not working. And I can see much about anything, it's just a matter of who does it better that day.
Alexander Volkanovski believes he could have done more in the fight against Islam. He adds that in certain grappling positions during the fight, he didn't think Islam was very strong, and even told his corner in between rounds.
Look, man, it was a close fight, so what can you do? I'm the type of person that I could have done more, so I'm a bit harder on myself. A lot of people probably, a lot of people counted me out, so they're like, oh, hey, wow, you know what I mean? But I was never counting myself out. I was expected to win, so I'm disappointed. I know I could have done more. Could have capitalised on the things earlier as well. I did think he was going to be stronger, and I probably could have done more earlier. But anyway, what do you do? Credit to him. Well-rounded, yeah. I underestimated his striking, he underestimated my wrestling and stuff like that. So, what do you do? Mixed martial arts, yeah. We at least we threw it all out there. There was positions where I was like, he's not strong. I even said in my corner, you'll probably hear it. I'm like going, he's not strong. I'm not being I wasn't being disrespectful. I was just like, oh, he's not strong. But maybe he's baiting me. Maybe he's waiting for me to do something. So I didn't capitalise it straight away, which I should have. And I started realising that later on. I was like, excuse my language. Could have done more. And then I'm going to try and get him down. You know what I mean? And then we end up getting there scrambles. I was like, let's go all out. I reckon I can do something on top here as well. So I did that. But maybe I could have done that earlier. Maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, I'll watch the fight. Do some research, but it's pretty clear that I could have won that fight. That's why I'm hard on myself.
Islam Makhachev believes his performance over Alexander Volkanovski makes him the best active fighter. Islam went on to say, doesn't matter how I won today. Now I'm not just the champion, the best fighter in the world. I'm very happy. Now people are going to call me not just champ, but best fighter in the world. This is my dream. It doesn't matter how I won. I'm very happy. Now I'm the best fighter and champion. Dana, I'm waiting. Call me. Jon Jones is a great fighter, of course. He is the best. Last time he won a split decision. He has always hard fights. I don't know. I don't think after this fight, it's going to impress people. Why am I best right now? Because I beat the best fighter in the world. That's why I think I more deserve this. If somebody wants to be best, I'm coming. Dominick Cruz had to do a lot of traveling to commentate for UFC 284.
So there's my flight. There she is. Just got to Sydney from Perth. That was a 4-hour flight. I had a 3-hour layover here in Sydney, and now I'll fly to LAX and then a 3-hour drive home from LAX. But what's crazy is it's Monday here in Australia, and tomorrow or today or whatever you want to say, I'm going to travel back in time, and I get to land in San Diego on Sunday morning. So I'll see you guys yesterday.
Tom Aspinall had words for fans who were complaining about the decision in Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. Aspinall tweeted, "Whoever you thought won the main event, doesn't matter. The decision is the decision. Most importantly, we as the fans won. What an honor to watch one of the most technical displays of MMA we have ever seen." He continued, not to mention the absolute heart and will to win from both fighters. Complaining online isn't going to change anything. Be happy you got to experience such an epic fight, you ungrateful bunch of fannies. Dan Hooker has accused Islam Makhachev of cheating prior to UFC 284. Dan tweeted this last night. He wrote, "Dumb thinks he can fly to Australia, hire a nurse to give him an IV, and we won't find out. Cheating dog." He followed up with this article. He Googled UFC how long is the suspension for IV use. Dan wrote, "USADA doing all." He continued, "Prove me wrong. Bet you can't. He doesn't cheat, he doesn't win." A fan tweeted at Dan saying, "Dan, who are you talking about?" He replied, "Islam is a cheat." And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. These comments are in reference to UFC 284. The first one's from Zach H. It says, "Volkanovski has been the real deal for a long time. I'm glad he's finally getting the recognition he deserves. Criminally underrated for entirely too long." The second one says, "I supposed I was biased in favor for Volkanovski since he was the underdog. For that reason, I gave him the fight. Watching such a small man hold his own against a naturally bigger man was incredible. It touched my heart and soul. I literally felt it in my chest. He showed us all something we've never seen before, and it was amazing." And the final one says, "For round 4, holding someone's back, never threatening getting close to a submission, and having the under guy land more strikes in that position shouldn't just be an automatic 10-9 for you. You did no damage, never threatened to end the fight, and actually got punched square in the face repeatedly. If that happened in a street fight, no one is feeling like they won that encounter." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. And make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.